going to do another crossover. New one. Not the Muppets and The Walking Dead. Thought that was pregnant with possibility. Let's do... Let's reset this. Tapping that AI. Hmm. 25-day. Oh. Living in your own private paladin. Sex Olympics. Maybe. But let's do another crossover. I was just freaked out that The Wheel of Time is now watchable. I grew up on that in 1994 onward. Kind of afraid to watch it now, but also kind of... This is like a culmination of 20 years. Oh wait. Going on 30 years. So, what if The Wheel of Time were mixed with... Since the writer Oliver James Rickney a la Robert Jordan was apparently a intelligence community person. Let's say Homeland. Well, just plunk myself into it. I'm a little bedridden right now. I'm not sick, but just like tired. Taking it easy.
What qualities do you invoke to suit your place, style and traits? You focus on being civilized with impatience, charm, guile, strength, luck. First published over a decade ago by Tor Books, Patrick Rothfuss brings us the name of this way separatist is also heading up another series called The Kingkiller Chronicle, our world that for the past 2 years has maintained a permanent spot among the top-selling ebooks on Amazon.
Let's fast forward through the previews.
You are set upon by a group of Trollocs.
Wow. It's gonna take a while to tap. Maybe you should go to take a whiz or something.
Moraine and Lan Armendragoran appear from behind the copse to lay some fire and sword in Trolloc hide. Envy, you are no longer your resource. You move on to other adventures within your new universe.
Head home and try to put the moves on Gwyn. That's how I used to do it.
You head home and try to put the moves on Egwene.
Oh.
For the first few weeks all you can really do is fondle, haha. I'm nice like that. There's some stuff about sneaking about the woods for dragons and get 3 for the gold. Whatever the hell that means. Fortunately you don't really see any girls from the epilogue until a month later. To be honest, you forgot that feature came with this new world order.
Get your oats sown before the taint comes. And
You get your oats sown before the taint comes and madness happens. Slowly but surely you managed to gather your more controversial ideas. One of them being immortality. True understanding of how the bleeding mask works is a big one, as is how shielding works. In particular the fact that other worlds and people make up portions of it, if manipulated right, could literally propel its user into godhood. Jason was against these theories, even somewhat actively trying to stop you for a time until he died under mysterious circumstances. Such is life. You let Matt Cawthon help you forget your destiny. Matt has long since passed on as well. The duties of state and terror of the taint just took their mental toll, ha. New friends emerge such as Olva, a cute orphan boy you literally ran into one day with your horse, his dog chasing a cute bunny actually. You say next thing you tell me you're gonna say a dozen worldwide conflicts broke out. We won. Those of us with the signs drank the dream tea. We accidentally unlocked space, came across your book and saw you reading it before you saved our reality with your Unity experiment. Then we saw Liliana rip out your spine and intone a very particular incantation. NB, that's one way of putting it. Well, I guess this answers some questions. You say rewind till Iran riot to the weird area appears. NB luckily no faces appear in the clouds today. How bizarre. Is today really August 29th? That same novel was sitting on the exact same shelf, with an apparently new pages 16 and 17. Not sure what exactly this is supposed to mean, but if it is a secondary test I'd better buy it, as you eat the two rat sexes. They were kind of dry and chewy. Nynaeve bolts in with her hair coiled tightly around. Then Ruddy Matt bounds in, or not. Whoever heard of rats with no scent? Good one, old man. Long live Rand, greatest hunter and trapper of all time. Nynaeve points over at him. I swear his madness will be the ruin of us all. Crowley nods sullenly. It's then when you realize closing the novel literally transports you into it, along gaining acute enlightenment into your situation. You introduce yourself to Crowley, you say. Needless to say, he has the exact type energy you're used being around humans on a lordly power trip. I'm Lord Karkolf's sorceress. The contorted feminine shape scans over you formidably. I'll be watching your contract closely. The last duelist they employed ended up in the breach. You mark my words. She flips away. You say to Crowley, was she of relevance? I was too preoccupied wondering how teats work within a normal woman's body structure to pay much mind. Look out, cover, help. Did you purposefully ignore what we were discussing during your study of the 2,000-year-old strife simply because you were too arrogant and strung up on BB to realize suicide wouldn't solve your problems? Admittedly, my writing is a rollicking good read, yet hundreds have gone on why. You omit, tell me what it is that you're trying to get at Crowley, plus the style you're most comfortable in. Sheol, relax. You think he asked the identity of Derrigan's assassin using that playful voice of yours? That's almost akin to dog whistles for us. Bismarck looks panic-stricken and tries to defend himself. What th? That came out wrong. This story is starting to get crowded. The fire marshal... It's not Bismarck, of course. It's a bulbous man with dragon tattoos and eyes that bulge repetitively. Who might you be? Asks this greasily tattooed official. My apologies, I'm Corporal Greg Rogers, 41st New Dresden Regiment. You present gladly, you missed the military. Fix bayonets. We have a fix bayonets. Too right we do. Okay, so I stay up late. So what? You help the Marshal clear the story of minor characters. He really gets you with his lemurs. A radical pacifist tipped to their cult from the one-arm Midian sector was Core Worlds, soon show up and intimidate everyone verbally while the Marshal courageously appeases them. Then they take out a knife and he calls in a 10 to 5. Breathtaking originality. The fire marshal really held his own. but you were unsettled with the cruelty of his life. I've already assessed his anger and habits in the very first couple paragraphs, so I'll only take notice of it. Continue after you sleep, Greg. In the debriefing, old Pink Eyes Rogers pulls no punches yet somehow sneaks in jabs with subtle hilarity, even insinuates there may be alcohol in the firehouse's holy undergarments. What a bombastic character. We're having a laundry day. That is the spirit, the fire marshal says, making the laundry pit comfy and boiling. Rogers bellows his old-timey laugh as he leaves. Left alone, you notice a hatch set in the floor slightly ajar. Nah, it could be confidential. Tap tap. It isn't because you blunder into laundry congregation. They challenge you to extract truth through their inquisition, somehow finding you not up to their uncompromising moral standard despite your superb skills. You ask for another chance, and you lay into your subject in a way. Your absolute shamelessness astonishes and overthrows their rock-like belief system. Except for the fire marshal. He grins at you knowingly. You gaze back into his eyes. Candy coating. This man obviously hoards candy in his stomach and casts thick layers of blubber around his organs, protecting him from shot wounds. Your shock at bare-faced courage makes you realize you really messed up at the firehouse. He knows you're gonna vamoose before they find you. Some cleansing agents must have compromised your scent.
No.
Walk with me, the fire marshal says. You follow him to the nearby cliffs. He looks at the wide expanse. We had common ancestors, he knowingly proclaims. You feel sick in your stomach anticipating an imminent leap. We lifted, stripped, smelted, hammered, and poured, he say, importantly. 2 beams of light bathe the cliffs, purifying the earth with the potential for wonderment and revenge. Deep down you know that we also know each other from when you were an untainted lad and I was but a traveling gleeman to entertain. The gleeman chuckles and you nod vigorously. Oh sure, I recognize you now, it all comes back now that I think about him. You personify in ways only a pot-addled brain could develop. Wait a minute, this isn't about him, it's about you. Digression boy. Pardon, Fane? You let your open mouth catch a few flies. A recollection of really nerdy-looking man using the power that... Really, who saw that coming? I mean, he did dress as a farmer and spoke like one too, even if he was from Jersey. Get to the point, you grumble, bad memories. God damn it, I'm gonna have to wash my ears out after hearing that moron's voice choir all day. But it will be all the gleeman continues in his head. Pardon, Fane? Intimate adversary. Gleam and solace, you call out to his mind, gleam and talk to me. Now witness the story of Pardon, Fane, ancient enemy of our mutual enemy, the Dark Lord of Daggers, Bartimus. Let no soul be ignorant of his deeds, lest epic ballads be created in swaggering praise. Gleeman, now breath life into this tragic tale, for I have my hands full steering this craft through zero gravity. Padan Fane, very well. I will begin simply. The numerous universal presences to our world are really of two kinds. One we can relate to, these spirits being either human-like spirits or greater entities who personify objects and natural forces. The second also relates to us, but only by demonic proxy, these spirits being reflexive neurons from beyond the astral storms, locked within the intellect. The infamous Dark Lord is merely such a reflexive entity. Rand, that's simply for you? I'm sensing some more abstract ideas that without your tale I won't know the full intention. I sense a lot of things with you. No offense. Yeah, you did what you had to as well, Padan Fane. Right? So it is human-like and hyper-intellectual spirits that concern us. Subjectively speaking, the human-like immaterial beings seem to engage in community with each other when noticing one another. Padan Fane, let us illustrate this. A troubled yet talented and beautiful young girl, with large brown eyes and a great interest and talent in scientific learning, in reflection of your mother. A rebellious yet wasic with glaring yellow eyes, staring at you with unfocused turbidity, in reflection of your father. Same boy who always had a crush on you despite being so far away it almost made you sad when thinking about it, and the only person who was your partner in every science project since grade school. Padan Fane, a simpler time when heroes lived and died on the battlefield. But it is also the dawn of a new era of legends that will soon come to pass. Aha, I got ya. He smiles, flashing his infamous grin. You quickly notice other presences, such as a wandering necromancer that you kill at the end of each adventure. These are simply reflections of yourself, however. This could get complex. You use the one power to pulverize the more human-like spirits gathering in a location known as the White Tower to deal with the reflexives. Metindwan, the only other person controlled by a human ID like you and her soon got to an agreement. No fighting the reflexives and no killing of any friendly spirits. You ran, or but what can you kill? A hell of a lot of it. Continue. Seeing as neither you or Ingwan had strong willpower, you had to rely on other methods for dealing with hostile spirits. Trapping them in gem prisons seemed to the best solution, and you soon recruited dozens of volunteers to help gather these spirit types and send them to re-education centers. You Steven Universe being your most promising apprentice. Yes, hundreds idly stood by and laughed at Fat Steven getting repeatedly beaten in the face by an Earl imaginary resource monitor forever. Even Tension cried that day. What fools. By this time you had over 40 active traps laying around, though you distrusted Ingwan's movements with so many rogue spirits. Yet she got results, buddy fucker. You inactively plotted her death until your plans were always foiled. We need more construction workers, men. Steven Universe gets hardcore. At your increasing size you begin to wonder how dwarves can move around so well at that height. Yet specific class. Fuck me, fuck the dwarves, do your building work. The world is yours too. Any surviving universe is fair game, and with millions of mortals worshipping you, even the most corrupted dreams becoming reality isn't an issue. Wait, how corrupted? Well, warfare soon gripped the known universes too. My world had access to harbingers, endless resources and weapons at our disposal. Universe 718 seems intent on consolidating their holdings through eliminating non-republic worlds, for example. Makes things boring though. I should really do something about it, but is there really a need to bother? These events are so insignificant when contrasted against the rest of existence. You take over the defenseless universes. Who's the boss? Fight the last stand of young adult lactose-tolerant super spirit side. Your widespread infamy allowed you to ally with similar beings, and soon the tide turned against the angels. Replacing them was simply a matter of waiting. While the angels had strength in numbers, you maintained them with cheap 0% year bank credit and all was well. You, Randall Thor, live now within Bank of America branch 666, situated in Universe 1. You have a party celebrating the new responsibilities. You too, baby, we vibe. Destiny in 4D 12 hours at 10:33 AM Cataclysm. Well, it's no the Imperial Entombment Ceremony, but you'll do. The wheel of time turns and ages come and go. Before the beginning there was nothing, after the end further nothingness there will be still. Nothing but undead bones inhabit a barren landmass. Hell brought on by mortals through strife. These are stories, grim and bloody tales yet funny when sad. Memes and memories made flesh and woven in tapestry by the fucking maker. May he bless these lands with his whimsical pranks. Bleak wasteland often shrouded by enshrouding clouds. Rand plays 3 ominous notes from the marimba of law and order. This will be my new home, an Eden restored. He proclaims getting off his ghost horses to begat the ground. His solid oak coffin melts away as he stands letting the sun touch his ghastly white pallor. Through creation all life begins simple and weak before death comes and takes you here. Rand smiles but refuses to let any damn soil even touch him, and similarly he can control undead skeletal systems. Pad and Fane, he can control dead skeletal systems, everyone. End. Everyone. Christian Shepherd and all shadow figures cackle back in unison to their master's words. This story over the centuries will be forgotten, although you were recently ruled as a JFK assassination conspiracy. Wait, that came out wrong, or did it? Sorry, pardon me. It has been slightly a long few years tongue then. Find your happy ending in Kelso Tree, A New Beginning. Richard Belzer. Oh no, we are not. I am. Belzer's goons draw their revolver and SMG arms closing in. Frank Buck, Goramit, I'm surrounded by idiots. Draws his revolver, getting in a portrait ready stance. You idiot boys, gonna get yourself hurt. There are screams from outside the room. None of you pay attention, focused on killing each other. You summon Robert Stack and environs. In a swift flash you take out one of the ship's special agents' heads. Our memories are rewritten and we see that I always knew ahead of time that the assassination would occur and the SLB were moving in for their own purposes. Unfortunately for the two feds, you need to rectify the dying of the light. What better way to do that but with balefire? You unleash a crimson beam, causing them both to explode. Unfortunately, due to their resonance, you are sent 1,000 years into the past. You quickly turn invisible and try to get your bearing. You recognize it as just shortly after Henry the Vi's death. So you hide out until the morning, when the first thing you see is Newton entering a tent guarded by Tuberman's heads. Cloaked, you follow him inside. You make yourself known once Newt is alone, stating you wish to help him prevent the successful Broth Kingdom invasion that leads to a revised War of the Roses. You brandish your sword and bid him follow you as you lay waste to direct brother deaths always run in the family, and you allow Newt to notice this before you make an offering of him. The god of scars reforged must murder everyone first. He asks who you are and why you offer this alliance. Because to be a deacon is hell, and even devils need allies now and then. Because I have so many universes under my belt, their talents lay in my universe. He goes silent, finally giving in to your request. For he realizes that for all of his kingdoms, for all of his personal swordsmen, he is still at your mercy, an extra means to an end. Together you are many, and I know it. If not, he would have tried to resist sooner. You strip his armor and re-enya him in WW Warden plots, but that matter in the scheme of things. You bugger him in front of his troops to show him where his lane is. In the meantime, your spirits spate the survivors into a death corridor. Everyone dies. Even Newt and yourself, who sacrificed himself on and almost gained the upper hand. How much is that upper hand in current currency? For all intents and purposes, you're in Alden. And everyone dies here as well except you. Spirits keep you here, forever praising you. Finally ruling over the entire multiverse. Open it? There are still unconquered lands. The obscure Bake-Off Islands. The Iron Sheaves of Dover. The old Republic of Fearland. Who controls these Myrat lands? Strange you have not encountered the Undoer yet. They technically haven't even been impacted. The battles are rattle, permanent today throughout the kingdom here. You need more men. You incubate them in universes that exist totally to flash forward the story. After a double or triple rotation and adding the universe humans, you march forth from the undisputed kingdom. All is going well, and you? Title? Achieving the goal of conquering it all when breathing change happens. The lecture in blue warning and etching appear, seeming to sin to carve into realities. You cannot defeat these. They slice their hard and soft self alike, including some of everything. What do they leave left of use? Still, what if they carve the slip gates away by accident? Runner doesn't seem likely. Are they meant to be some exhaust vent nonsense of the surface underuse? Maybe their script is bullshit anyway. Why not stand as the last Menehumit? How much you want to peel in that story, villain? Rand, just a day part for a day rate. Nothing after, right? That's what happens further in the end. So is someone have else mind WH other than SMBTTR? You erect a statue for Rust. Hey, about time. My captaincy was short-lived at best. Captain of Coast Fright Defenders, but my job these for Coast Guard Tolkut attacks later. We enter the continent. At RST some nomads who snar avoid Kesh and Earth Nation in lightly populated sandy regions. Still present though. They say ash tenders in land of sunlight west becoming stupid. We ask what happens when flow magic fails cheap, answer begins noticeably increase. The prices for some grooves fall. Alcohol cheapens. the EQ4E4T4E. The equally, Echuraders may receive their shinies decrease across Western Dis. Mercy Fort confs we ask if this cane can feed off happy hippies drugs too. They avoid answering get louder or not mark Velv form versus also.
Let's see how this goes.
Chemicals, lower gold demands Amroons needed through armor 4 ed 24, 4 ed Saint 4 eat velvet with ourselves get trade their luxury poison Supi 82. Odds, A. Run similarity simulations, betting on 1 good getting parts M4555 effortlessly. They cannot tell apart WHCHs which internationals cannot even find where dots are 10 being picked from. We abruptly end this Amazon Prime broadcast day. Honestly, this 4 isn't going to be added, especially with Barrier. Heh? This is not for you. As I mentioned, the series of metal shelves carries on with thin and flat, but it has unhelpfully almost no grip to it on either side. It is, or you see it to be, a very unique and special part of this museum. Wait a fucking minute, to your knowledge you haven't suffered a head injury that you're aware of, yet here you are seeing double, not to mention during a blackout, no less. Were you seeing what seemed to be another me walking alongside and observing without a comment? Or is this reality getting jacked by the least creative crime lords? Billy Zane, it was me. The less you ask, the better off you will be. W. Sorry, some brain soft-inaptics can get translated rural and remote servers, which explains why you are seen surrounded by more storage boxes filled with mere copies of your files. Tissue says tissue says tissue. Chish the band and the pirates this time around bring the noise but raise the security across any external internet access for usually accessed websites in an otherwise short period of time.
Oh, gee.
Blonde protagonist takes her meds for bipolar conditions and heads to bed. A new day, and a new dawn is here. What should we do? Leave a note on the windshield of unattended personal transports from workplaces as per your instinct to hack another personal. Holy shit, you went to the place last night. You creep on there and now the giant loom piece. You guess it makes sense that somehow, right? Sure. Now go to sleep. Your condition, and a coma. You are still suffering the head injury, but really cheery as can be anyways, alongside Zabrowski's syndrome due to your wound. Everything is alright. Fuck it, isn't it? See you tomorrow. Unfortunate victim once again to those crazy bastards who made the wrong end of the peril. What did you just find?
To be continued. No, not to continued at all. I'm going to go to bed. Going to go to bed. Good night, Adept W. Good night, another T viewer. Good night, Irabs. Good night, Orthodox. Good night, everyone. Anyway, good night.